What if for just one generation, every major decision in the world, be it political, economic, domestic, or cultural, was made not according to the patterns of dominance, competition, and hierarchy, but through a deliberate practice of listening, empathy, and equity? Imagine a conference room where world leaders gather not to assert the most power, but to truly listen to the softest voices in the room. They sit in a circle so that no one is at the head of the table. The room is filled with thoughtful pauses, with leaders weighing the impacts of their decisions not only on their own people, but on those whose stories are so seldom told. Consider a young girl in a remote village who believes from her earliest days that her voice is as valuable as her brother's. She grows up in a community where every tradition is examined for fairness, every ritual reimagined to include rather than exclude, to nourish rather than suppress. She runs through fields where play is not divided by gender, and where her curiosity leads her anywhere she pleases. Picture workplaces where leadership does not rely on an image of toughness, but on nurturing the collective. Imagine meetings where dissent is seen as a sign of engagement instead of disrespect, and where solutions emerge from collaboration rather than competition. In these halls, a promotion is awarded for lifting a team, not for outshining colleagues. What if families redefine strength, seeing it not as the ability to control or command, but as the wisdom to adapt, care, and support? Parents of all genders take turns guiding and comforting their children, learning patience from each other, modeling mutual respect. Heartbreaks and setbacks aren't hidden or hardened against, but shared openly, teaching that vulnerability is the root of resilience. The media tells new stories. Heroism is not a lone leader at the helm, but a community coming together to face hardship. Histories are rewritten to honor the quiet contributors and unsung innovators who have always held the fabric of society together. If patriarchy let go its grip, the balance might not mean a world run by matriarchy, but a richer, more delicate weave, where courage takes the form of care as well as conquest, where logic and feeling join hands, and where the past binaries are replaced with the present's possibilities. Perhaps conflict doesn't disappear, but is met with greater curiosity. Wars and disputes, instead of being escalated by ego, are explored with the humility to admit not knowing and the willingness to be changed by the other. Can we imagine that, as generations pass, depression and anxiety, driven so often by rigid roles and isolation, begin to wane? Friendship and partnership grow less encumbered by expectation and more buoyed by mutual discovery. What if the next innovation lies not in a new technology or law, but in the radical act of letting go, a choice to release dominance as our default, and in its place build constellations of balance and care? Would the world glitter with new hospitality, new ways of living that beckon us all to thrive? When we let go of patriarchy, we might not reach utopia. But perhaps we find, for the first time, the honest conditions for health, shared power, restored dignity, and the creative courage to begin anew.